everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're returning. We're here for another episode of Sisterly Sentiments. So we're going to talk about something that's real common. It happens, it is what it is, but it needs to be addressed. So in the news right now, DaBaby and his crew done beat the pigtails off of Brandon, Danileigh's little brother. I think it's her little brother, I don't know, but her brother. And all of this started because Brandon decided to interject himself in something that he had no business being in. And it was all under the guise of, I'm protecting my family, I'm defending my family's honor. I get it, it's honorable, but now you walking around all busted up because things didn't go in your favor. So let's get into these sisterly sentiments. So when you have a sibling and they are involved in a very volatile relationship, it feels, sometimes you feel like you need to jump in or you need to be a part of it, or they just can't handle it right. Like most of the times how I see it go is, if a brother is fighting with his girl and she puts her hands on him, he may call his sisters over, right? The sisters, because he doesn't want to put his hands on her and risk going to jail. Or if a sister is fighting with her man, her brothers may come over if the man put his hands on the sister. That's another video for another time, but let's talk about this situation. So this one was very specific. Danileigh and DaBaby got into an argument because they had a episode, sexual, they had sex that morning. He did not use protection. She did not make him use protection. She ordered a plan B while he was out. He got home and saw the plan B. He did not want her to take the plan B. She was like, listen, I just had a baby a few weeks ago. I don't want to do this again right now. I need to take the plan B. They got to arguing. He said, okay, well, leave. I need you to go. You got to get your stuff. You got to go get your stuff and your baby and leave. Now, had Danileigh had some self-esteem about herself, she would have packed up her stuff, packed up her baby, and went to the hotel that the 5-star hotel that he was paying for, and that would have been the end of them. He would have still had a relationship with his child, but she would have been too embarrassed to go back and deal with somebody like him. But her being a low self-esteem person as she is, she decided to argue with him, and not only argue, she put her hands on him. That's when he called the cops. See, instead of laying her out or having his security do her like they do them men on the streets, like they did her brother, he was like, let me call the cops because this is not going to end well for me. I already have enough stuff going on. Can y'all get her up out my house? Get her up out my house. I just want her to go. I don't care what she do. I want her up out of here. And it's not like I'm putting her out and she's homeless. I'm going to pay for the hotel. Just get her out my house. Long story short, they didn't get her out the house. So then a couple of hours later, now it's daytime, he's still like, listen. The way it seems to me, they came to an understanding. She, instead of going to a hotel, she was just going to fly home because she's like, the baby doesn't have clothes, I don't have this, I don't have that. Well, the baby didn't have clothes when you were staying at DaBaby's house. I'm going to just say Jonathan because I'm tired of DaBaby. So when you were at Jonathan's house, the baby didn't have clothes. So why were you so concerned about, I can't go to the hotel because my baby doesn't have enough clothes for the next few days? Baby still got the same amount of clothes, so now you sound stupid. So now we know what this is. You just got to be up under this man's behind, and he doesn't want to be bothered with you right now. So had she got her stuff together and left and went to the hotel, we would not be here right now. But she decided to stay. So now he's on live, and he's making it his business to embarrass this girl. I get it. He's dogging her. He talking crazy. Listen, you was just my side bitch. You not my girl. And that hurt her feelings. We know. Okay, it hurts. But it didn't hurt her enough to not go back to him. But we'll get there when we get there. So he said that. And this was an eye-opener for anyone smart. But for her, what she said is, I'm going to prove to you I was. And I'm going to prove to the world that I was. No, that I was your girl. No, you were not his girl. He told you who you were. Now, yes, he sold you all kinds of lies. That's what men like him do. Those raggedy ass men. That's what they do. They tell you what they think you want to hear. And yes, during the course of their situation, he probably did fall into her. I'm not gonna say in love, because men like him, they're usually incapable of love. But he fell into her, and they were a couple behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, he never fully gave his heart to her. And that's what she's not recognizing. The man never gave his heart to you, because if he did, there would never be a way that he could sit up here and say, but listen, we was just doing what we was doing and you just happened to get pregnant. I just happened to do my business in the wrong woman. Because that's what he said. So instead of taking heed to that, she fell in love with this man that's incapable of love. She just taking all kinds of L's. And then she cried about it. Okay, who cares? He called you his side bitch. The brother wants to get up there. I'm going to avenge my sister's honor. This is the sisterly sentiment. Let me give it to y'all just like this. DaBaby, Jonathan, did not put his hands on Danileigh. He embarrassed that girl. He told her to get out. He told her what it was. And of course, behind closed doors, he gonna say, nah, babe, later on, nah, listen, I didn't really mean that. I was just upset. You my girl. I love you, da-da-da-da. And then she right back over there in the house. So when Brandon saw his sister going through that, what Brandon was supposed to do is say, listen, he said he's putting you up in a hotel. Go to the hotel and leave that man alone. But that's not what he did. He threatened to fight him because he embarrassed his sister. He threatened bodily harm against Jonathan because his sister couldn't take the truth or couldn't take these little words. So he hurt your sister's feelings. He embarrassed your family. Now you want to fight him. Now you sound stupid. Now you got your ass whooped. I was slipping and sliding all over the bowling lane. There's no need for them to wax those floors tonight because they waxed that floor with your ass. So at the end of the day, the bowling alley, they're good. That's less time on they cleanup. You look stupid. DaBaby, now he may be facing charges, or his people gonna be facing charges. But at the end of the day, you threatened bodily harm against that man multiple times, and not just that. You're dealing with somebody who already has probably some type of stuff going on with threats and people, doing stuff like that, because that's just the lifestyle that he's led. So for a man to come at him talking about what you gonna do to him, he's not gonna take that threat lightly. Okay? So you lucky all that happened is that you got busted up a little bit. You didn't lose any teeth. They didn't rip your hair out. They just used it to, wrangle you around. But you okay. You a little sore, but you'll be fine. So the sisterly sentiments is this. When you have a sibling, we're going to talk women and men. When you have a sister and she's in a situation, now this is not same sex because that's a whole nother thing. We'll talk about that in a minute. But when you have a sister and she has a man and the sister calls the family, or the family finds out that the man is mistreating the sister, if the sister's not willing to leave mind your business, I don't care nothing about what that man did or what he didn't do. He didn't put his hands on her. That's number one. If he put his hands on her, he needs to go to jail. He put his hands on her. I don't know. Y'all do with it. Handle it however y'all handle it. Ain't my business. The man never put his hands on that girl. So because he never put his hands on her, you have no right getting involved because your dumbass sister's just gonna go back. So let her be dumb. That's not your business. Be there to console her. Yeah, I know. I feel bad. Well, and then drop a little gem. Well, when you leave him, life will be much better for you. But as long as you choose to stay, it just is what it is. And that's all you can offer. Now, if it's your brother and he gets into it with his girl and they call you the sister over to come handle the situation because he doesn't want to put his hands on that girl, or they call the mama. Let's say you the mama or the sister. They call you because they don't want to put their hands on this person. Let's say the girlfriend was beating him up, scratched him all up, did all of this. So you call your family members. Now you're putting them in the middle of your mess. If you are the sister or the mother and he calls you, you do not go over there. And the reason you don't go over there is because now you're going to catch charges for this chick. Him and her are not going to break up. He's not leaving her. All they do, like they're full of dysfunction. Everybody knows it. But at the end of the day, you interjecting yourself into this situation is not going to change this situation. The only thing that's going to change that situation is when your brother or your son decides to leave that situation. So you can't go over here every time they call you because things don't go in their favor. Especially if the girl didn't put her hands on him. If all she's doing is hooping and hollering and he doesn't want to be bothered with it, that's their problem. He should have left her, or he needs to leave her. That's just what that is. Now, if this is a same-sex situation and your brother calls you because him and his man have had a situation, and you know they're arguing, let's say there's no physical contact, or your sister calls you because her and her woman are arguing and you go over there, the same rules apply. The way that I see this different, if it's same sex, right, is if old boy calls his brother to come over to the house, and now I'm talking to the person that was the aggressor, and you are still at that house. Look, they about to do you. When it's same sex, it's different, because now it's like no holds barred. It's just free. Everything is free game at this point. So I would say if it's the opposite sex and you calling that sibling to handle that person, and we can kind of work around that. If it's same sex, oh, you about to get jumped. You need to leave. Now, y'all comment down below and let me know what y'all think. But that is it for this episode of Sisterly Sentiments.